First of all, welcome and thanks everyone for joining Mina's first ecosystem technical update session. I'm Christine. I lead community at O1 Labs and I'm an advisor to Mina Foundation. During today's session, several key partners and contributors in Mina's ecosystem will share rapid fire updates on what they've been and are working on right now. So we're very excited to have O1 Labs, Chainsafe, StakeTab, and Olton's team here today. At the end of this call, there will hopefully be time for questions and general discussions. So if you have any questions, please add it to the separate Q&A chat box you see in Zoom. And also, before we start, I'd like to ask everyone to mute their microphones if you're not speaking. Thanks very much. And for everyone's information, this call is also being recorded to share with people who couldn't join. Okay, we have a full agenda today, so let's get started. First, I'd like to give the word to Evan, a board member of the Mina Foundation, to kick this off.
Thanks, Christine. Yeah, I'm really excited for this. I think these will be a good opportunity for both people just to kind of share like what they're working on across each other, because we don't get the chance to do that as much as we would all like, and then also to get a chance to share that out with the broader community, so that you all can be like in closer sync with what we're doing. I think that like at the end of the day, like if we can all like be really in sync with like all the different awesome things going on in Mina, it'll be really awesome. And that's like, I'm excited to start having that happen here. So without further ado, I guess we can get started.
All right, thanks, Evan. Okay, then the first up is actually O1 Labs. Let me check if they're here. I don't see them. Well, maybe we can start with Chainsafe then. I see Elizabeth is here.
Cool, hello.
Thanks, Elizabeth.
Cool, yeah. Hi, everyone. So, so I'm Elizabeth from Chainsafe. I'm a software engineer, work on various projects. Recently, Chainsafe has started working on the Mina Rust implementation. So this aims to be a verifier node of the Mina protocol. So we plan to write the core logic implementation in Rust and then compile it to Vadim and then have the networking portion in JS libp2p so that we have a working in-browser verifier Mina node. So that'll be really nice. So our main kind of milestones that we're working towards are firstly implementing the bin prot serialization from OCaml, implementing it in Rust so that we can serialize and deserialize all the various types and such. And then the second milestone would be to implement the chain selection logic, which is the best chain to follow. And then after that is the actual verification implementation of the snark proof. So implementing that proof and implementing that verification in Rust. And then after that is our account storage tree, storage backend implementation. So we can then keep track of the accounts, that kind of thing. And then as well the JS libp2p implementation, which will wrap everything together nicely into a browser node. So those are kind of the main milestones for our implementation. So currently we are working on the first milestone, which is the serialization implementation. So we have mostly written it. We're working on testing it right now, working on making sure that you can correctly serialize and deserialize blocks and various other data types. With that, and then after that, going to start working on the chain selection implementation. So yeah, cool. And if you want to check out the repo, there's chainsafe/mina rs. Let me just find it. So this is the repo. There's not much in it right now because we've mostly been working in the Serde crate repo. So this is what we've been working on, but oh, it says to all panelists only. Sorry. I'll post that in the chat after, but yeah, so feel free to check it out at chainsafe/mina_rs or chainsafe/Serde bin prot. Cool. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thanks a lot for sharing, Elizabeth. A lot going on in the Chainsafe team. Very exciting. And then next up, we have O1 Labs here. So they've been working on a core protocol and snaps.
Thank you. I'm Bijan from product at O1 Labs, and we've been pretty focused on a couple of things on our side. One is getting the new release out to the community. It addresses a lot of the instability issues that the node operators have been experiencing. An example I can give is how some of the nodes were getting stuck at a particular block height. This will be mostly addressed with the new release. We've already released the alpha version, and the beta version also came out just a couple of days ago. And we're hoping to actually make it officially available to the rest of the community sometime next week. So this should significantly improve the stability of the nodes and also reduce the crashes that people have been experiencing. The second area that we've been focusing on is around snaps and working on bringing snaps to mainnet as soon as possible. There are a lot of things as part of this work that needs to be done. One area is around finalizing the particular use cases and the scenarios that we want to make sure that we can well support from a tooling perspective for the developers community. We're very excited that the programming language that we're going to be using is something that's familiar to the developers. So it's JavaScript and TypeScript. We're working through some of those details, such as finalizing the transaction logic specs for snaps and making sure that all the dependent parts of our protocol that work with Mina are properly updated. This will impact what we're going to be doing over the next 2 weeks as well, especially identifying all the dependencies and the set of changes that need to be made related to archive nodes, scan state, GraphQL, database schema changes, and more. And we're also working on an RFC for BitSwap, basically for integrating the work that Chainsafe has done to bring that into our protocol. And this is going to significantly improve the network resiliency and stability over time. So integrating BitSwap into the Mina protocol is going to be one of the areas that we're going to be focusing on over the next few weeks. And the RFC is coming out pretty soon for us to kind of start working on. That's it.
Thank you for sharing these updates, Bijan. There's a lot going on in O1. Thank you and your team for your hard work. The next up is StakeTab. So they've been working on 2 projects, the Validator dashboard and a new block explorer. I'd like to give the word to Vitaly. I think you're muted.
Sorry.
Yes, we can.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Cool. Well, what should I start from? We are here at StakeTab started with, as you know, we provided this validator dashboard. And we see that we quickly understand that there are some problems with off-chain data. There's no data on chain about validators, so we quickly provided this data. So we collected the information about validators. We help users to see this information. It's quite important for everyone. So development this information is very useful for the ecosystem. Because this is a soft-chain solution, we immediately made an API that can be used by everyone in community. We also do our best to maintain the list of validators and to maintain API, all the quality, and always provide it working. So I hope everything will go well. We do our best. Since we started with Validator dashboard, we proceeded. There are also many questions from users. We maintain a Discord group. We receive a lot of requests from users, and all the questions are quite predictable about how, when we can start receiving rewards, how much rewards. This blockchain is not I don't know, it's not quite it's quite well understand. I don't know how to say. Many users find this blockchain not usual, yeah, in some cases. So the questions with randomness and so on, yeah, we help to answer this question. So we developed a rewards list, rewards dashboard. In this dashboard, users can find the information, what rewards they will receive. Actually, it's multitask dashboard, rewards dashboard, I mean. Users can answer to many questions here. They can compare rewards of different staking providers. They also can find how much rewards they receive. We can see this the performance of validators. We can find different and compare different parameters of validators. Is very important for those who want to stake and who want to know better the ecosystem providers. I think it's contain very useful information, and we receive feedback that people appreciate and they like this information, and we keep improving. Soon we will provide a bit more updates for the reward dashboard, and the next step for us to create blockchain explorer for Mina. Yes. Why blockchain explorer? This was we started with this idea from the beginning. We were thinking how to implement it, and now we are ready to do this, and very, very soon we will provide our first release. There will be a lot of features there. Maybe I should start maybe about Explorer. Yes. Okay.
Yes, please.
Yes. We believe that user experience should be great. As a well-known phrase, do well, do better, do best. Yeah, so we created better user experience. Soon we will make a big update. It will include transactions, blogs, accounts, and many more features. I think we can provide it in a week or two, maybe. Also, we plan to include such a very useful features like time logs. In scale, you can see a list of all accounts that have some logs. You can see what are these logs, what for what period, what is how much investing, and so on. Also, you can see the timeline on logs. I started not from the main feature, but when we were working under the many features, we came to the conclusion that we need to make the Explorer first, and after that we can show what we want to implement else. So the first stage is to make the first release of the Blockchain Explorer from StakeTab, and after that we will come to next stage, stage 2, 3, and so on. Hope everything will go well. Maybe you have some question. I can say some more. Actually, Blockchain Explorer is quite predictable what you should implement there. Yeah, but you know, when we come to user experience, people want to see the features most best way they can understand. Yeah, so when we say about rewards, we want to see rewards list. We want people want to see, want to compare these rewards. They want to see rewards on their account, for example. They want to see some charts, how this the progress of rewards. They don't understand, for example, popular question. We make I made a delegation, but I can't see my rewards. People need to wait 2 weeks, for example, until they will be included, and so on. Many questions, and everything will be clearly asked and provided with our Blockchain Explorer, we hope.
Okay. Thank you so much for that update. We're looking forward to see the new Block Explorer. Then, yeah, very grateful for what StakeTab has built. A lot of users are using the Validators dashboard. So yeah, excited about the Block Explorer as well. And then let's go to the next item on the agenda, which is Mina monitoring dashboard. It's from Olton and Vadim.
Yes.
Vadim, are you here? Can you share an update on what you've been working on and what you are working on?
Yes, okay. Do you hear me? Sorry. Okay, my name is Vadim, and I am glad. Firstly, I want to say that I am very happy to be in such a good and professional company. It's my first time in such a good, interesting discussion. This time I would like to represent Olton's Mina monitor. Unfortunately, Olton is sick and currently is hospital, but he is getting better and he will be okay very soon, I am sure. I personally using Mina monitor for more than 2 months, and I can say that this is really cool and very useful tool. What is actually the Mina monitor? Mina monitor is a client, a server application for visually monitoring the node and alerting users about node problems, and even automatically restarting the node if needed. Mina monitor was written using HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and Node.js. I would like to explain the key features from the both the client and the server sides. What does the Mina monitor do from the client side? It displays main indicators of the Mina network, such as block height, uptime, current epoch, and the current slot information. It displays the status of the node daemon, synced, catch up, bootstrap. It displays node main characteristics such as CPU, RAM, network. It displays the balance and the value of the balance in different currencies. It displays information about delegators, how many delegates and what amount was delegated. It displays information about block won and rewards received in the current era. Also information when the next block will be produced. Also, what I noticed that, and I'm lucky about it, that the Mina tools is very user-friendly, has user-friendly interface. It is comfortable to look from PC and phone and tablet. And as for the server side, first of all, it is monitoring the node's health condition. It does identification of critical node conditions such as forks, node freezing, and other lags. It does checking the synchronization state of a node, and it does an automatic reboot of the node in case the critical condition detected. It sends messages about the critical state of the node in the Telegram or Discord, and also the current balance and the current price of the Mina token. What else? I have to add that Olton is currently working a new version of the client application that can work with several nodes at once. I think that's it. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Thank you, Vadim, for sharing this. I've heard a lot of good feedback from node operators that they really find the dashboard helpful. So for Olton and your work. All right, those were all the items on the agenda. We have like 6 minutes left for open discussion and questions. Does anyone have any questions or comments? Any questions about the work that was shared today? About the work that's coming? I see a question from Nihad, but I don't think that's a question that Vitaly can answer.
I see this question. I hope it's addressed more to Gloria or Minek. Well, you know, we work, we support many different ecosystem projects, and we understand this in our documentation. You can visit our StakeTab site. We develop documentation chapter, this special place where you can find how to stake with Chlorio, with Arrow Wallet, with Ledger, and so on. We have detailed documentation how to stake. So you can answer a lot of, and find a lot of answers on the questions you might interest. Well, what about safeness? It's a very popular question. I think we should listen what about state networking Mina members can say. I will give my microphone to them.
Yeah, I think members yeah, we would recommend members to really do their due diligence before selecting a validator that you're delegating to. I do see new questions in the Q&A chat box. So the first one is from Petmenaben. I'm sorry, I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly. Any timelines of the snaps? I think this is a question for Bijan.
No firm timeline yet. We'll share with you guys once we have more accurate timelines, but we can tell you guys we're aiming for late this year, early next year. But to be honest, it's still like really pending figuring out some of the details that that helps us come up with a more accurate estimation.
Thanks. I think everyone wants to know when Snaps comes, including me. It's so exciting. I also saw some questions in the chat, so I'm going to take some of there as well. Okay, someone's asking if Elizabeth can share her GitHub link. All right, people are very excited about Chainsafe's work. I think we can help with sharing the link after this call as well. And then a question from Scott. I understand the RFP for building a verifier for Pickles Snark was closed at the end of March. Just curious if there's any news that's been shared relating to who won the proposal and news related. Does anyone have an update on that? Maybe Evan?
Not yet, no.
Okay, we don't have an update on that yet, but when we have, we will share. We'll keep this in mind. Thanks, Scott. And then Frank is asking, what is Mina's ecosystem? I think Evan kind of touched on it in his opening. Do you want to share it again, Evan?
Yes, I think it's like what depends how we think about the question. There's like, I think, what is Mina's ecosystem? I think that we can look at like people who are building tools today, building things on top of building like a new client for Mina, people building dashboards, tools for node operators themselves, of which there are like very many. Olton Labs building the OCaml client and things on top of it, like snaps. I think that the way to think about it, probably the right framing, is that it breaks into like core protocol development, snaps, and node operators. Core protocol development is like something that node operators thing that's like kind of, I don't know if I want to say mature now, but like it's like pretty well built out and people are really coming to really make it work really well. Core protocol development is something that like is like in the process of like developing out. It's like happening already. And Snap is something that's early, but like we think will like probably once it's there, like it'll just be available to use generally and pick up pretty quickly. So I don't know if that answers like what is Mina's ecosystem, but at least some thoughts on it.
Thanks, Evan. We're at time. I do see that people are warming up now and asking more questions. These sessions will be every 2 weeks. So the next session will be in 2 weeks. Please remember what your question is, ask it on our discussion channels or ask it during next session. Just for everyone's information, we are also recording this session. We'll share the recording, we'll share the notes. And yeah, hopefully that will help with keeping everyone updated. Yeah, so thank everyone, all the partners and contributors for sharing your work with the community today. If anyone else in this call or rewatching this call would like to share what they've been working on, feel free to fill out a form. I'm going to post a link in this chat, and also we'll share it on our discussion channels. And we're happy to hear about what everyone is building. Yeah, alternatively, you can also add your contributions to Mina's subreddit called MinaDev. Okay, well, thanks everyone for joining, and hopefully we'll see you again in 2 weeks. Bye, everyone.